All right, so I've brought in here the political editor of Sky News, Andrew Clennell, who will ask each of our candidates, as it were, a question. How do you reckon we're going so far?
Oh, a good bit of argy-bargy, I've got to say, Ross. Jim Chalmers, your budget contains $179 billion worth of deficits over 5 years. Over that period, the extra cost of the NDIS will be another $33 billion. The cost of your $5 to $10 tax cuts will be $17 billion over 4 years. Your public service wages bill, after you hired another 46,000 public servants, will be $8 billion a year. That's $40 billion over the 5 years. That's $90 billion I've just spelled out of the $179 billion of deficits, and that's before we get to other campaign promises. You also have us heading to $1 trillion of debt, in fact, $1.2 trillion of debt, having had a go at the coalition for the same thing. Jim Chalmers, isn't this the opposite of your hero Paul Keating's so-called beautiful set of numbers? Given these numbers, are you prepared to rule out cuts if you are re-elected? And haven't you left Australia in a weak position in terms of a fiscal buffer for a global economic crisis? Jim Chalmers, why have you left us with a decade of deficits?
Well, despite all of that investment in strengthening Medicare, providing tax cuts, providing cost of living relief, making our economy more resilient, the budget is $207 billion stronger than when we came to office, and that's made room for those investments, and it's meant that we delivered 2 surpluses. Our predecessors delivered none. The deficit this year is half as big. We've made a structural difference to the budget in areas like the NDIS and aged care and also interest costs. And so we are getting the budget in much better nick, and we're doing that without ignoring our responsibilities to people who are doing it tough.
Angus Taylor, a decision was made by you as Energy Minister. We've heard about it from Jim Chalmers tonight in 2022, before the last federal election, to delay a decision on electricity price rises past election day, rises which were 11 and 12%. So you effectively hid that power price rise from the Australian people. Now you're promising or releasing modelling claiming your gas reservation policy will cut power prices by a meagre 3%. And your only other power price solution is 15 years away in nuclear. Why in 2022 did you hide that price rise from the Australian people? And given you did, why can we believe your policy promising this 3% reduction in power prices?
Well, I absolutely didn't. And in fact, what we saw in my time as Energy Minister is a cut in electricity prices of between 8 and 10%, depending on whether you're a small business, a large business or a household. We also saw big reductions in gas prices. Hear me out. They'd got up to close to $20, and we got them down to closer to $5 to $7 over my final time in the role. And we saw as a result of that, lower electricity prices and lower costs right across the economy. This is the key. If you can get gas prices down, it's not just gas prices that come down for consumers, they clearly do, but also the price of food, the price of building materials. So much of our economy is energy. Energy is everywhere through our economy. If we can get those costs down, and we can by getting more Australian gas working for Australians, we can have a lower cost of living for all Australians.